them in the bag. That's a big number. Big numbers. Big numbers. Whole team counted. That's a big number.
Yeah, wrist, man. Check the wrist, man. Got him hot. Hey, man, can't ball like this, man. Lord, past the pig skin, but he stretch a distance. I'm talking a few 100,000 yards. You just on your 5th grand. Run it up, 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 count it up. Hey, hundreds and 50s and 20s, no 5s and no singles, don't count on them. Hey, she want it like me, cause her like she can count on him. She try to be nosy and hit up my ex, she like, girl, you can count on him.
Hey, hey, we need more, tell them we need more. Putting numbers on the board, like them keep a score. Hey,
Coach, a very warm day outside by Minnesota standards, but then again, it is still summer. Either way, the AC is working just fine at U.S. Bank Stadium in the Twin Cities. Today, it's week 3, and we've got a good one in store between the Oakland Raiders and the Minnesota Vikings. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
At their own 26-yard line.
Play action now. Cousins. Looking for Diggs, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Jonathan Abram, the rookie from Mississippi State. And they'll start with great field position at the 41-yard line. I'm not sure exactly what they had planned for play number 1 from scrimmage, but I can guarantee it wasn't that interception.
No doubt about that one, because in their daydream, this was going to be a dream play to get things started. Instead, it turned into a nightmare for them.
The Raiders offense now making their way back out onto the field. Now the first-round pick from Alabama, Josh Jacobs. And a promising start as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Give him 12 yards that time and an Oakland first down.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
On first down, they go with Jacobs again. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. And this is a guy straight out of college. They're not going to try to groom for a year or two. They want him to produce right away.
That's why they took him in the first round. They expect him to be a starter right away and a future All-Pro. So they don't have any time to wait for him to come along. They want him to play right now to help this team.
They added a lot of talent to a roster that really needed an infusion of youth. They got a very good infusion of youth.
And they didn't really reach to get anyone as well. They stuck to their draft philosophy, got the best players they could at the time they were drafting, and inserted them into their lineup.
He needed 2, he got 1, and that's going to leave him with 4th down and a yard.
Well, they picked up a portion of it, but not all that they needed. Now that leads to a decision on 4th and 1. Let's see what they decide to do.
And he will have the first down across the 20 to the 19-yard line. They only got a couple, but a couple's all that they needed as they convert on 4th. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Here's Damian Harris, 3rd-rounder from Alabama. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
That's a very nice game there, a confidence-building run. Love the execution up front, and the way he pressed the hole, absolutely perfect.
Now, OP. Here we go. He's coming. Double up.
They'll try to run with Harris. And he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. It's a loss of 4 on the first down play.
I don't know if there's any other way to put it, but that play was blown up right from the snap. How about the guys on the defensive side of the ball? It's almost like they were in the offensive huddle.
Yeah, it's one thing to stand them up from that 1-yard line. Pushing them back to the 5, though. Wow.
Yeah, I like what you just said there. Not just stand them up, but they end up making a play on the other side of the line of scrimmage. One of my favorite safeties in the league is Harrison Smith. His ability to support in the run game, as we just saw there.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Raiders. Luke Wilson, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Raiders have taken the early lead. No surprise there. 3rd and goal down here. That's where they're going to look for their tight end.
Yeah, you want that big guy running his routes because it doesn't matter who they cover him with. If it's another big guy, he might use his bulk against him. If it's a shorter defender, he might go over the top. Either way, you tend to find a little bit of a mismatch in that area.
Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. Not the start that they were hoping for. The interception on the first play of the game. It leads to 6 points the other way. How do you rebound from here?
Yeah, a little bit of humor. Got to laugh that one off, and not the ha-ha, that was very funny, but kind of like, can you believe that just happened? Let's go out and play now. Let's just start over.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Credit the sack to Brandon Marshall.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
And they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line. The second down play results in a loss of 2 yards.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time. That's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
Fielded at the 20. Well, that looked for a second like he might take it all the way, but as it stands, it's still a massive return. And the Raiders will have a short field to work with as they take over. On first down, Carr. He's going deep for Brown. This is caught. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. Antonio Brown, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Raiders add 6 to their lead. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0. And they're able to get the connection on the long touchdown pass. And that's one of the easiest drive summaries you'll ever see. One play, touchdown. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. And he'll be brought down right at midfield after a gain of only a couple. The numbers a week ago for Cook. 21 carries, 73 yards.
And I'm eager to see how they deploy him in this game. Last week, a heavy workload. Do they decide to bring that down a little bit and try and keep him fresh? Or do they say, guess what? He's locked in. Keep handing him the football.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Cleveland Farrell in there to record the 2nd sack of his young NFL career.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game watching this offensive line because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit. Right? 4 guys might have it right, but the 5th guy is giving something up. They've got to find a way to all get on the same page.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. So a couple of first downs on this drive, but it's looking like another empty possession.
And those empty possessions are certainly starting to pile up. So the adjustments that teams talk about all the time have to be taking place. They've got to analyze what's breaking down and figure a way to fix it.
A reminder, coming up later tonight, a lot of buzz about this game. The Browns, they've been doing some travel. Back-to-back primetime games for them. Monday night they were in New York. Now the Browns head to Los Angeles to take on the NFC champs, Browns and Rams. An 8:20 kickoff Eastern time, 5:20 in California.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
On 2nd down now. It's Jacobs, and he'll get it up here this time to the 21. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a 1st down, keep the sticks moving.
A 14-yard gain there as they look to improve this 14-point lead. There was a little space there, yes, but that was a well-executed run by the rookie.
It was, and he wasn't one of the higher-rated rookie running backs coming out. He's probably on the next tier. But let me tell you something. If he becomes more consistent and continues to have that drive to be one of the best, we'll see more of that in the future.
That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, that one was over before it could get rolling. How about the D just knifing into the backfield and shutting that one down?
On 2nd down, it's Jacobs. It's Xavier Rhodes there in on the stop.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete. More problems here on 3rd down. They've converted only once so far in this first half.
And you know as well as I do in this league, if you don't win on 3rd down, it makes it hard to win a ball game because then you're relying on your defense, you're relying on your special teams. You've got to get it done with your offensive unit.
Now Carr. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. A big pickup of 12 yards on 4th down to keep this drive from stalling.
And the big guy catches the ball out of the backfield, and oftentimes it's quite a surprise to the guys playing defense because not ordinarily thought as a pass catcher, it often works when they decide to dial it up.
Back to the running game with Jacobs. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. That's a 12-yard gain now on back-to-back plays.
We both know it's difficult, but they've made it look effortless out there. Through the air, on the ground, they've moved the ball with relative ease.
Now a carry for Jacobs. He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
2nd and 5 now. Carr under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Well, maybe that can give him a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. One of the few things that's gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Anthony Harris. And the return stops at the 39-yard line.
And, Brandon, this is a real nice job defensively of getting inside a quarterback's head and figuring out, okay, where's he going with the football? Because you can make an educated guess defensively, not all the time, but sometimes. And when you're right, you've got a decent chance of coming away with the football.
A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. That one good for 24 yards. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is because...
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Laquan Treadwell, his second touchdown on the season. And the Vikings are able to make this a close game again. Great corner route there. Not only able to catch it, turn it upfield, and get into the end zone.
It usually involves a little bit of an extra move, doesn't it? You've got to get them thinking that you're moving to the middle of the field and you're breaking away to that corner. Boy, that was well executed.
This is taken at the 3. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. Now the Oakland offense heading back onto the field to take over. Still more than a minute to go, so there is time if they want to mount something here.
Not only time, but they have 3 timeouts at their disposal as well. So that change.
The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. The sack by big number 98, Linval Joseph.
What a nice read and play by the defensive tackle. Never bought the play-action fake. Went right for the quarterback and put him on the ground.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
The Raiders on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This will be 3rd and 19. Now Carr. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And that's caught inside the 35. And all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. 3rd touchdown pass now for Derek Carr. And the Raiders add on to their lead. That's a pretty quick response to that last touchdown drive. And it seemed like they had maybe given up momentum. Not so fast.
No, not at all, because they ended up pushing the lead up once again, and you're exactly right. Thought momentum might have been shifting. Instead, they grabbed old Mo, didn't let him get to the opposite sideline.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. Adam Thielen, he gets set to go again with the rest of this offense. They've got to be thinking, how can we get him a little bit more involved here? Second quarter, you're down, and really, he's been out of the mix.
I would agree with that, and oftentimes you hear, well, we're just taking what the defense is giving us, but sometimes that's just not good enough. Sometimes you have to take what you want, and that means getting him the football.
Yeah, so far just a single catch in this game. They'll keep it on the ground again here. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. So we have come to halftime. And we will skip the highlight show this week. Get right back to this Week 3 matchup. The Raiders with the lead already, and they will get the football here as the second half is now underway. This will be taken in at the 1. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. Out comes the Raiders offense. They'll go on offense first to start quarter number 3. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
Watch the twist. Watch the twist. Switch, switch, switch.
Carr again here on 2nd and 10. Man open left side is Brown. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A gain there of 30 big ones.
I I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great. And he will not get away from the pressure here. Carr taken down. Daniil Hunter, credit him with a sack as he buries him for a loss of 10.
I know there'll be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and ended up getting sacked. That's often a play that you make. You feel like you...
And it's hauled in by Nelson. Touchdown Raiders. Make it 4 touchdown passes now for Derek Carr. And the Raiders add 6 to their lead. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of a group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game. This
is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
Limited running room as he'll get about 3 to the 21.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
It's the linebacker, Brandon Marshall, there on the tackle.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
And he's able to find Diggs. And they work this well upfield across the 45. How about 25 yards on third down? They'll take it. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down. Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last two plays.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
Draw play, Cousins to Cook. All able to avoid him. They'll get him to the ground at the 20 following a pickup of 4.
Well, they certainly have been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got to just pin their ears back and get after him now.
And Thielen's got it. Touchdown, Vikings. Adam Thielen, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Vikings are able to close the gap just a bit. Precision, precision, precision. That's the definition of it right there. Great pass, great catch for the score.
Yeah, people talk about arm strength all the time. Well, if you're not precise and you're not accurate, the arm strength really doesn't matter. We saw a little bit of everything with that throw.
This is taken at his 4. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Derek Carr and the Raiders set for their next possession. He has been on his A game. We're in the third quarter. He's already in search of touchdown pass number 5.
He's played so well that it's hard for me to take my eyes off of him, even when he's not on the field. I keep finding my...
And that's caught inside the 30. And all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. Antonio Brown, 76 yards. And the Raiders add on to their lead.
Well, that is certainly a deflator right there defensively. Their guys just came off of a touchdown drive. They're back in the game, and then bam, they give up a touchdown one play later. How about that?
And the momentum, which seemingly had shifted the other direction, thought we might be seeing a comeback. That momentum right back the other way.
Well, that is certainly not complimentary football that we saw right there. The defense is supposed to help their offense, not give up another touchdown.
Let's go, boys. Let's go.
Kirk Cousins now gearing up to lead this offense back out there. He has been consistent, hasn't he? He played well in the first quarter, good second quarter, and now continuing that here in the third.
And that's the word that they're always seeking from the guy taking the snaps, is consistency. Taking care of the ball, making sure it gets to the right people, no errors, right? Not turning it over, and just doing all the right things. That's leadership, and it inspires confidence in a team.
Yeah, been a good leadership and a good distributor. Tyre Whitehead, top 10 in tackles last year, up to make the play.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. It was Maurice Hurst who got him down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
And he's got Kyle Rudolph. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 17 yards, first down, Vikings.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little game. Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup.
Well, from an offensive perspective, that sure was pretty, because the corner route, it's extremely difficult to defend from my perspective.
What we just saw there, is that sort of the evolution of the tight end position?
Yeah, I think it is, because more and more, tight ends are being treated like wide receivers. These are some agile players who can make a play in any spot on the field.
Throw left side on target to Thielen. Add the gain here to the previous play, and it's better than 40 yards total.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion.
Oh, partner, that play brought back memories. Watching them string it out, letting the runner get all the way to the sideline area, but not letting him get out of bounds.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Dalvin Cook, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Vikings are able to cut into that deficit. Solid job up front, really just a solid job all the way around to get that one in.
That was well executed, wasn't it? Well blocked, well run, end result, 6 points.
Touchdown. Extra point up and good by Bailey. And the lead will be cut down to 14. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. This will be taken in at the 1. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Back onto the field now comes the wideout Antonio Brown. Seems like the measuring stick for a receiver for a great game is 100 yards. Well, he's well past that now.
And as we analyze how he's getting them, that's what really becomes fun because, let's face it, they keep sending coverage at him, keep trying to put the pressure on, yet he finds ways downfield and finds openings. That's a really crafty receiver. Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last two plays.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Yeah, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
And now off to the races, down the right side, and all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. Damian Harris with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Raiders add 6 to their lead. And that moment we just saw, always so special for any rookie, the first touchdown of his career.
And there's nothing like anticipation, is there? You know he's been dreaming about it, thinking about it. It's been a part of every bit of his being. And finally, it gets done. He's got to feel great right now.
Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. And now out comes Minnesota. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really looked clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. And Rudolph has it left side. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. Decent start to the drive, but let's face it, they need a lot of things to go right in a short amount of time, down 3 scores.
Yeah, they're going to run their 2-minute offense here in this game, but this is for future games. Can they get better and be ready for the next time, hopefully with a chance to win?
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Cousins able to connect with Treadwell for a Minnesota first.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts. That's going to leave them with just 1 remaining here in this 4th quarter. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now we've got movement up front. And I think this is going to be on Minnesota. Maybe anticipating a blitz, and they jumped.
Yeah, and if we saw it, you know that they saw it. The bad guys might have been coming on that play. Had to pick them up, and they jumped.
Cousins again. And down he goes. Brought down a Raider sack. Brandon Marshall able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking
under pressure again, and down he goes again. From his linebacker spot, Vontaze Burfict with a sack.
I remember throughout my career hearing defensive coaches always say, guys, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. Well, they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead, and they know they've got to throw the ball.
These pass rushers have to be salivating. It is pin your ears back time indeed. And they'll get 15, but that won't be nearly enough. It's 4th down. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They come up on a 4th down situation with things not looking particularly rosy. Cousins to throw it. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. Defensively here, you've got the cushion, but back-to-back pretty big pass plays there bend but don't break, but are they bending too much?
I think that they are. To me, it'd be like playing basketball and you put up a token press. Make sure you get up there and make them eat up some time. Make it a little bit of resistance so they can't just run it right down your throat. Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, you often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. From the 16, Cousins. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. 11 yards there, first down.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Second down and goal. Cousins. Open man is Treadwell, and he's got it for the Minnesota touchdown. Laquan Treadwell. His 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the Vikings are able to close the gap just a bit. Bailey got the extra point, and that will cut the lead down to 15. Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call, mark off the 5, and keep it moving.
And it's the Raiders that'll come up with it. And that will put victory in sight for the silver and black. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in the game. They keep it on the ground. This time it's Crowell. And he'll take this one down to the 36. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 13 seconds left to play. They'll try to run for it with Crowell. And he is going to have the first down, and that is going to suck the life right out of this crowd. But Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy,